Actually, Antoine yesterday said he was a sponge because he just listens, and that's so rare. But I need you actually just to listen to me today. I'm really, first of all, I'm a little nervous because this is honestly on my bucket list. I feel like I could retire after this evening. I'm really just touched to have been invited by Brian to present at such a important venue for me anyway, a venue that I've respected. Oh no. This is a Macintosh computer. So anyway, I'm Jeremy Bailey, like Brian said, and I'm well known as a famous new media artist, Jeremy Bailey. And as a new media artist, well, as an artist in general, but as a new media artist, I come into situations that are sort of failing or stodgy or, in need of reinvention quite often, and I try and innovate in that space using my brain, which is the focus of tonight's presentation, actually. But, one thing that's important, Brian mentioned that, this evening's about life casting, about sharing yourself, and as an artist, I'm asked to do that all the time, and it's very difficult to decide how much to show or hide, and being comfortable with failure publicly is also really difficult. And so, that's sort of where I started off. Brian came to me, and Antoine, I looked at his work, it has nothing to do with failure. In fact, I succeed less often than, anyway, I'm not going to judge anyone else. I'm digging a hole. But being comfortable with failure is something that I learned early on was really important to being creative. And the most creative people in the world are just at peace whether they win or lose. And so, for instance, I should maybe ruffle my shirt or take a shoe off before I get started, maybe 2 shoes and a sock. Just because, it can't be too bare. I can't, that's a little sticky, but I can't sort of communicate enough how important it is for me to feel at peace in order to be creative. This is true for all artists. Any artist will tell you this. But there's constant anxiety and pressure, such as the pressure of being here this evening. But transparency is key. This is a modern concept. And in the spirit of transparency, and in being this guy that's comfortable with failure, even though he succeeds at the highest level here at the New Museum, I've built a performance around it. The first thing I want to get out of the way is that, if you don't like what I'm saying, so I've built in the ability for you to review my performance as I perform. So actually, just using Twitter, I want to get this out of the way before we start, because I want to prove to you that I care about you, and I care what you think, and that it's important whether you like me or hate me. I just need to know. And in the spirit of sharing, I hoped you could share your thoughts about me and the performance as it's ongoing, which I think is actually a revolutionary concept, and I'm not too proud to fail. So right now I've got a 3-star review you'll see up here, but maybe let's just make that a 2-star review, be a little bit more modest. What it does is in Twitter, and by the way, I've set up a wireless connection. It's just log in on your phone to Jeremy Bailey is nice, and there's no password, which is the way it should be. And so then you just do hashtag. Now what is that hashtag? That's Jeremy Reviews, I believe. And you do Jeremy Reviews, and then you do a star rating, like 2 stars, and then you might say something about me like, yeah, I guess he's nice, but not that cool. I'm comfortable with that. I'm just gonna tweet that, and then it should come up within about 60 seconds. But throughout the performance, hopefully we can get some idea about what you think of me, and as I share a little bit more about myself. So let's get down to business. Let's get down to reinventing something. So you look at life casting, you look at what's out there, you see that people are sort of, they're taking pictures, there you go, so that you see it works. Now, people are uploading pictures of themselves to Facebook, they're videotaping, they might even be streaming video of themselves live all the time. But you really are missing a large part of who they are and what they are, and this is true of artists as well. What occurred to me is that, what would be more interesting is I thought we could push this further, and what if we could know what was going on inside an artist's head, or inside a creative person's head, inside anyone's head, really. And so that's what I've sort of come up with today, is a way of being creative while also demonstrating or exhibiting, letting go of my thoughts. So I'm actually wearing this headset, which is provided by Interaxon, and it scans my brain for thoughts, and it can tell whether I'm focused or relaxed. So you might have been able to tell when you came in that there's that humming in the background. That's sort of the scale. That's when it's at the low end, it's me being relaxed, and at the high end, that's me kind of really anxious and focused. But if you look at this cursor here, what I call the brush, you'll see that as there's a black triangle there, that's going up and down depending on my focus and relaxation. Now you might be thinking, oh Jeremy, where are you going with this? This is crazy. But let me just I've explained that you're getting my thoughts now. Now what are we going to do with that? It's possible to read thoughts, and I thought to myself, what would be, if I'm an artist, I'd like to be able to use these thoughts creatively. And so to me, to quote actually, oh that's nice, oh Brian, of course, the curators are always good for that kind of thing. 4 stars. Now actually a star review system is very popular in theater, but it hasn't really become popular in art. And I've been trying for a while to get that going, because I would love if, when Brian did his introduction, that he just quoted all the 5-star reviews that I had received. Which are, well, there's only one 4-star review, I guess, courtesy of Brian, which I will quote next time I present. Now, what are we going to do? We want to be creative, but we want to exhibit. We want to use our thoughts. We want people to be able to see that. And so, I'm going to quote Milton Glaser, who actually invented the famous "I Love New York" logo that we're all familiar with on T-shirts. I know New Yorkers don't really probably like to wear it that much, but outside of New York, all kinds of posers wear that shirt all the time. So, what Milton Glaser actually said. This is my favorite quote. He said a lot of bad things about computers that I don't listen to, but one thing he said is that, he said, drawing is thinking. And I've always thought this way about actually writing computer programs, but, whoa, well, maximum review, there we go. I like those words, and I thought, let's just turn that over, because that's what I do. I take something, I turn it on its head, and I thought, well, what if thinking were drawing? And so what I've invented is a drawing system I use a thought-controlled drawing machine, software program, if you will. Now, the way it works, like I said, is you focus and relax, and when I focus and relax, you can see this brush, which is this rainbow-colored thing here, goes up and down like a balloon. So actually, let me just show you how it works, because you're probably a little. It's going all over the place a little bit, but let me just try and relax, and you'll see it fall down. So I have to be at peace here for a second. Oh, I'm losing it. But you saw it go down there. I've never done this in front of a live audience. Never mind such a good-looking one. That sort of takes care of our up and down. If you think of a computer with a cursor, I'm sort of inventing a mouse that uses my brain. Now the thing we have to do, we still have to get from left and right to really draw. And so to do that, I've sort of put in this system. It's like a chanting or, well, self-help kind of thing. It's about being comfortable with myself. And so what we've done here is, here I'll show you. It's detecting that I'm speaking in sort of a sad tone, which is probably true, a little bit emo right now. But if I say something cheerful, or if I whistle, because like I'm a pretty girl walking down the street. And hey, hot stuff. made me feel really good about myself, and it moved to the right. Of course, back to my regular voice, it moves left, but you get the idea. You know, let's get it all the way to one side, and then I'll show you. Now, if I need to get it back, I'm not going to talk, I'm going to boo. Boo, boo, you suck. And I'm fine with that. It's okay. It's all good. If I received a 1-star review, it'd be fine. And that's where I want to be. I want to be in a creative place. So we're going to get there today. Now, the next thing you're thinking is, Jeremy, you haven't actually done anything. You haven't drawn. Hang on, I'm just going to reset it so that we start back at 0. Little reset tool there. So how do you actually draw something? Yeah, you've moved this circle around the screen. How do you draw? Now, I looked at what was popular in the industry. Like, how are people drawing these days? They're not drawing the way they used to. The most popular software is a piece of software called Adobe Illustrator. And the way it works is with a pen, and you draw points at different points. And so I've sort of taken that idea and transposed it here on this software. And so I can actually, now, I don't want to use my hands. Again, this is all about using the head. But what I can detect, strangely, is this. Oh, hang on. There we go. I can detect bites or clenches if you're grinding your teeth or upset about something, and I can draw points that way. And so there we have a line on screen. Now, as an artist, you might be able to, you might think you're seeing genius there perhaps, but I'm trying to expose that, you know, I'm trying to expose my genius, really. I'm trying to show you everything I can, straight line along the bottom of the screen with a 4-star review. Yes, perhaps it deserves 5 stars, but we'll see. Anyway, now there's more to this, though. When I draw these points, now, as long as we're collecting brain data constantly, and this is where I think we're going, why not make that data, why not use that data in some way that allows the drawing to behave more like an emotional dashboard. So I'm making drawings all day long, and maybe I want to you know, check out what my friends are doing, or look at some photos of loved ones. You know, the typical stuff we do in our social media space. So, you know, your daily Facebook routine or Twitter routine. What if we could bring that into the creative process? And what if we could use our thoughts to coordinate, you know, the information that, you know, if we could somehow bring those two things together. I guess I'm all about bringing things together, about finding new interpretations for things. And so I actually made that possible. I'm just going to unlock this here. And you'll see here, I can scroll down, and there's a picture of my fiance, Kristen, and I was relaxed at the time, and so the picture that you see there is of her relaxed. But we could also look at images of my parents. So there are no parents. Hang on, let's just see here. There are no relaxed images of my parents. Very judgmental. I think they're proud of me. Or of course, like YouTube clips. This is actually pretty chill. It's like a girl doing gymnastics on a Greco-Roman column, but anyway, you know, just see it. And music. So some chill stuff there for us to enjoy, and that media all came to us through our drawing. So not only do we have a drawing, but we have something useful. And isn't it great to have art that's useful for a change? So not only are we making great creative work, but we're also creating something. We're bringing media. We're creating almost a media sphere, emotional dashboard, if you will. So you know, that's a way of organizing your digital life, right?